isometric dagger board. Okay, so the party's here.
Yeah.
That's Liz. Liz Elizabeth Weeks. She sailed around the world with Alan. Cook extraordinaire, charter hostess, and all-around great person. It's my wife Katie. She's just visiting. And Captain Allen. So we're going to ask Captain Allen to expand upon the virtues of Cerulean, Atlantic 57. You guys got on this boat just about, well, how many years ago was it?
10, actually almost to the month now.
Yeah, okay. And I did a little video when you arrived in, we met in Bequia, right? You had sailed down, you stopped in Bermuda, sailed from Bristol, Rhode Island to Bequia, stopping in Bermuda, and then Katie and I happened to be there on Javelin around the same time you arrived, and I took a little video, and the boat was brand new to you then. And so tell me what you've done since.
Well, we spent quite a bit of time in the Caribbean, and after a couple of years of that, then we thought it'd be great if we could take her around the world, and so we did, and that was an amazing venture. As good a care as we have taken of Cerulean, she handed it right back to us and took really good care of us as well.
Great. And that was, well, you didn't rush around the world. You stopped a lot of places, did a lot of things.
We certainly did. We left the Caribbean, went through the Panama Canal, the Galapagos, the Marquesas, Tuamotu Islands, the Saidi Islands, Tonga, Fiji, New Zealand, back to Fiji, Vanuatu, Australia, Cocos Keeling, Mauritius, and on to South Africa, to Ascension Island, actually St. Helena first, Ascension Island, and then the thorny path up to the Cape Verde Islands, Canary Islands, and into the Mediterranean, which everybody told us we couldn't do. So I suggested, yeah, you probably couldn't unless you had an Atlantic 57. and it was quite an exciting trip, and the boat just handled it beautifully. We had at least 25 knots true wind for a few thousand miles, hard on the wind, and the boat just handled it beautifully.
And so that was just you and Liz, right? I mean,
that was just Liz and I. The entire trip around the world was just Liz and I. We only had guests at destinations, but all the passages we did alone. Then we did the Mediterranean up to the Azores, 3 months doing all the Azores islands, back down to Cape Verdes, back to the Caribbean, and yeah, we're sitting back in her home port, Rhode Island, Bristol.
6 miles from where she was built.
That's correct. Yeah.
And the very place that we picked her up.
Yeah, same, pretty much the same mooring.
Yeah, she's kind of like a salmon that way.
On her way home.
Yeah. So the last leg up to the Mediterranean, it was you were left from Cape Verde, or
Well, we left. St. Helena was the normal way
Yeah.
to sail, and most everybody sails from Ascension Island directly to the Caribbean or Brazil, and then would go to the Mediterranean from the Caribbean.
yeah, going north to get the westerlies.
Right, and so once we left Ascension, we went directly over the equator straight to Cape Verde. Once you pass the equator, you have headwinds all the way, pretty much
Hmm.
up the coast of Africa, and yeah, the boat just handled it beautifully. It didn't have a single hiccup, no problems, no hiccups. It just
And so, what kind of speed or daily runs do you make in conditions like that?
well, we were getting hard on the wind, and we were averaging well over 200 miles a day.
Hmm.
Hard on the wind. So we were doing 9 knots easy.
Yeah.
9-10 knots.
And
all the way.
what was it like inside? Cooking, sleeping,
Well,
operating.
quite. It's a boat. Of course, if you were in a boat with less finer hulls, it wouldn't be tolerable at all. But on this boat, it was quite comfortable. I mean, we lived normally. We cooked, we roasted, we baked, we did everything. When I say we,
You mean,
Liz.
you mean Liz roasted and baked?
Yeah, and we're not talking about a day or two. We're talking about weeks on it.
It was amazing, actually. The passages had their own joy, and I think you fall into such a rhythm, when you do those kinds of
Yeah.
miles, and there's a lot of peace in it. So
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the sun goes up and then it goes down and it comes up and it goes
Yeah,
down and
yeah.
the days go so fast.
Don't forget about the fish in between.
So did you catch some?
Yeah, we caught quite a few fish because going to weather, we unlike going off the weather when we going 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 plus knots, we're not catching any fish.
Yeah.
But going into the weather,
They were eating
the
chicken.
fishing's better.
Uh-huh. It can slow down more easily. And
Yeah,
land the fish
exactly.
and-
So, and besides, 9 knots is a good fishing speed, whereas 15 is not.
Mhm. So, aside from the sailing, you guys lived on this boat a long time. What do you have to say about its livability?
I think the mattresses are really comfortable. The space is great. I mean, you have the forward cockpit that you can hang out in if it's sunny.
On the back?
Aft,
Yeah.
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 And then the aft is really nice for al fresco dining.
Mhm.
And if it's raining, you can eat inside. Very cozy, because that's a visibility. All the windows are on.
It's an extremely comfortable boat.
Very well ventilated. So there's
It's,
always air passing through.
it's well appointed. The bunks where they're situated, especially the midship bunks, are very comfortable because they're well situated in the middle of the boat, so any movement is minimized.
Yeah.
The heads are good size. Showers are good size.
Yeah.
I have nothing but good to say about this boat, and I think it's proved to be the ultimate cruising boat for a couple or a family, of course. But it's very easily handled. There's nothing supernatural about us. I mean, we're just a normal couple that.
No, Alan, you're way
enjoys
too
it.
modest.
Oh, please.
Yeah, no, it's anybody that wants to sail any long distances. I couldn't recommend this boat more highly.
Yeah, well, having sailed quite a bit on Javelin, her near sister, I'm in full agreement.
100,000 miles we've done in Cerulean.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And look at it,
yeah,
it's still new.
yeah.
She's ready
Yeah.
to go again. She's ready for another tour.
Yeah, I know. Itching to go too, she is.
Yeah, and well, let's hope we.
find somebody who loves her and takes care of her as well as we did, because she's sure to give it back.
Yeah. I've got a question here for Liz because she spent a lot of time in this galley, and I'd like to get a galley tour from the chef, and also ask her a couple of questions about it. So let's go over and
Sure,
do
come
that.
on
How about if we open the hatch to get a little more light in
down.
here?
I'm gonna put this baking soda away.
Yep. That helps. Okay, so just the lay of the land here. This-
Got a big freezer, very big depth. Great refrigerator, lots of room,
Mhm.
fresh veg, fruit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Never had a problem. Operates wonderfully. Wherever you set it to, that's where it stays. It glues really well. No worry about it opening. There's also pins, you know, it's very hectic on a voyage. Excellent cooling system, the sea frost. Lots of drawers.
Yeah.
Covered space.
Yeah.
Down here.
How do you like the stainless counter and sink?
It's wonderful. It's very forgiving. You can put a hot pot obviously down on it. Very easy to clean and to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Great for rolling out your doughs, you know, making bread, whatever you should do. Made a lot of bread in this oven here.
Yeah.
It's got a little microwave. I don't really use a microwave a lot. I use it for reheating coffee maybe, or for proofing the bread.
Yeah. Same for us. It's really nice though if you ever run out of propane, you've got another way to cook something.
That's bad planning, Chris.
Ventilation. I mean, you got the hatch right
We got
there.
the hatch right here. We have also,
Yeah.
if you're not sailing and you're
Yeah.
an anchor,
Yeah. That pulls a lot of air through the galley, and it's an easy way to get rid of potato peels.
yeah, I don't know. It's great lights here, lights under the counter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what I get a lot of pushback about is galley up versus galley down, and many people are convinced that the galley down is just an inhospitable place to be and doesn't work, and I strenuously disagree on that, because I think this galley works really well, and it's not like you're.
It's great because this is cut out here.
Right.
It's also a
It's
great
not
place
like
to
you're
pass up plates
stuck
and things. Yeah,
down
and
here.
it's fully I can sit right here and talk to Alan and Katie.
Yeah.
They're sitting around the table. and
Yeah.
For me, I like to be away as well. I like the space of being out of the
Yeah.
actual living room there.
Yeah. And
It worked well for me.
And it can
not
get.
standing in the sun, you know. It's lots of room.
Yeah, and on a passage, it's a little more secure. If it's rough,
Yeah. And there's fiddles on all of these ledges, on all these counters, so you don't have to worry about things slipping around too much. Yeah, I grew very used to it, and I can't imagine being up after.
Well, they both have their merits, but
Right.
I think that
It's a very
this
open
one
galley,
works
yeah.
well. Just pan around in the aft end of things a little bit. That's into the aft cabin. More stowage. Port light over the sink. The question, one thing I didn't point out earlier is that you guys did quite a bit of charter, mostly in the Caribbean. There was a little elsewhere. But early on, you were doing pretty much a full season of charter every year.
We did quite a few. We averaged about 12 weeks a season.
Yeah.
Carrying up to 6 guests, which worked quite well. And Liz, that galley churned out the most amazing meals for up to 8 people. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, Katie and I participated in a number of those. We would detour 50 miles out of our way to come see you guys in different islands in the Caribbean precisely because we knew there was usually a dinner coming out of this galley.
Yeah, well, it's been amazing to, you know, just for preparing food for that many people, and I think that there was no problem. I think it's certainly doable. We certainly did it a bunch.
Mhm.
Well, actually, I just want to bring up one subject here, is the quality. This boat is 10 years old. It's been around the world. It has 100,000 miles on it. It's better than you. I mean, have a look at it.
Yeah.
It has a little bit to do with maintenance, but it has everything to do with quality.
The build was
Yeah.
a beautiful
Yeah, the
build
build-
and a beautiful design as
The
well.
build was superb,
Yeah.
and you guys were extremely meticulous the whole time.
And it's a Chris White.
And yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I don't want to say voyaging boat. It's an absolute ideal voyaging boat for a family or two people. It just works so well. And Chris was mentioning that he gets a lot of kickback about the forward cockpit. I would not have it. It's such a great feature, you know. I mean, you've got the inside helm here. So, for instance, Liz would be steering, and I would be in the cockpit, occasionally getting soaked if you're going into weather.
Mhm.
But if you're off the wind, it's dry. In fact, we have the back door closed because.
But more than getting wet, you're totally protected. I mean, I'd rather get a little bit wet than be worried about.
No, absolutely. It's really a great feature.
You're not going to fall out of it.
No,
You're not
you're
going to
not.
get swept out of it.
No.
No.
You know, you're totally safe.
And on a beautiful day, you can't beat it. I mean, you just can't beat it. The visibility and just
Yeah.
watching the sea go by, the ocean go by like that, it's amazing.
Well, I mean, you like us, offshore, you're here under autopilot, watching the world go by.
And at night, on a beautiful night, I mean, it's spectacular.
Mhm.
Really.
Well, another thing, this pilot house is a huge feature because, as you can see, it's 360-degree view. So there's really no need to be outside.
if the weather's bad.
Yeah, well, even if it's good, because let's face it, when you become our age, we don't really want to be sitting in this
Whose
weather.
age?
We don't really want to be sitting in the weather, you know, and get all burnt and weathered. So Liz and I have been across the ocean. We arrive, we don't even want to get off the boat immediately. We're quite happy on the boat. We're not tired. We're completely rested.
Mm.
Whereas you look at some other crew, they get to their destination, they jump off the boat like, I don't want to be rude now, but they certainly want to get off the boat and they're all weathered. Especially these katana sailors. Have you noticed them?
Well, aside from that, there's other boats where you have to sit outside the whole time and
Yeah.
just totally exposed, and I couldn't imagine that
Yeah.
after being protected and having this kind of venue for
Yeah.
voyaging.
Well, that's something we've noticed on Javelin compared to the trimaran we had before, is that on a 3-day passage, you know, we were just wiped at the end of
Right.
it. And on Javelin, we come in, you know, you have a one night rest and you wake up and you feel fine. You're not dragging the way we used to.
That's exactly right. In fact, if you took the Chris White away from me right now, I'm not sailing anymore.
I'll pay you for that later. So that's Alan's new command out the window, the 72.
Hey, we're in very good company here, and then we have another Chris White
Yeah.
57 flanking us on our port side.
Yeah, not to mention we're in one of the most famous harbours in the world, right off Herreshoff.
That's right. Good company.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and they seem pretty pleased that we taking moorings in front of their museum. They're quite happy with us.
Oh, good. Shows that they're getting with things.
it shows they have good taste.
You know, so the forward cockpit on the Atlantic Cats and Atlantic 57, the boat we're sitting on, is one of the central features, and you know, makes the boat easy to handle. And but there's some pushback from people who say it's might be too wet or inconvenient or whatever. So, Alan, what's your take on that?
Well, I think it's a major safety feature, really, because of how it's situated, and you can access all the controls without actually going outside the boat. And also, when you exit the forward door into the cockpit, it's quite protected because of this cut back over here. Mostly the spray is coming from either side, so it doesn't really hit you as you open the door and soak the inside of the boat. And besides that, you have all the controls right handy right around here, so it's easy to deal with. So if you have a partner, she or he doesn't even have to come outside the boat because they can steer inside.
Mm-hmm.
You can give hand signals of where to steer while you're reefing, and it works. I don't know. I think the future is really good. The best I've seen, anyway. And I've sailed many boats.
So, just to reef, for instance, just point out where the reef controls are.
Well, as we have a few power winches here, this for the main halyard is the power winch. So you have the halyard on there. You can release the reefing lines of these, which come directly to this power winch. So you can be reefing with this, pushing using a fingertip, and just releasing the halyard as you're pulling down the leech of the sail. And once you're done, you just jam it here and bring in the halyard with another finger control, and you're done.
And clip the tack down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tacking, you can see the jib, the staysail, is on a boom and is self-tacking over the track. So there's one line that limits the travel of the car. So to tack, you just turn the wheel over and the sail tacks itself. When you reef it, when you roll it up, the car on the track on the jib boom slides forward as you reef, which gives you a better sheet lead, so the sail can be deeply reefed and still have a good shape. So how often do you reef that staysail?
Well, I personally seldom reef it. I find the size of the staysail with one reef is in the main is really a good size, up to 30 knots apparent, and even a little more, and with two reefs in the main and full staysail, 35 knots apparent, and after that I would put a few rolls into the staysail, and I've had it up to there to 40 knots apparent.
Yeah.
So not too often.
Yeah, and 40, you'd have a double or triple reef in the main?
I would have a double reef for sure.
Mm-hmm. And just
then again, I like to sail fast. So
Yeah.
if you want to be really comfortable, put 3 reefs in and a roll or 2 in the staysail, and you can sit back and have a gin and tonic.
All right.
See what's on the back of that board?
They're getting it wet.
It's gonna take
They're getting your boat wet, Liz. Shame on